What is good, everybody? We are live for yet another episode, I believe episode 24 of Rip and the Silverback. We have a good one for you today. Man, it's been crazy for me. I know I have not been streaming a lot lately. I did say that I was going to do this. As you guys know, my wife had a major surgery. So, I've kind of been in and out. Didn't do Tuesday night's main event yesterday for nothing but 30 minutes because of it. She's feeling a lot better today. But if I do have to go downstairs and do something for her, As will take over the show. Which is the benefit of having such a co-host. But yes, we have a whole lot of things to discuss today. Crazy things that we have to get you guys caught up on that's been happening in kind of the gaming news cycle these past couple of days, but also some things that we missed out on because we only do the show once a week. So, of course, joined as always by the Silverback himself, my co-host. Brother, how you doing?
I'm good. I know. Look, we live in clown world. Hell, we live in clown universe. And even the last couple of days, the last few days, have felt like the fuck is going on with people? What are they putting? Are they making the frogs gay? What are they doing? It's like, have they put something in the water? Are we living in Batman Begins right now? What is? I have no clue what's going on, but particularly in the Western gaming industry, people have just lost their minds. Absolutely lost their fucking minds, mate.
That's putting it mildly. They have lost their minds. They're going fucking crazy. And we have a lot of examples that we're going to discuss today of that. I'm just making sure everything checks out as far as the scene goes. Okay, cool. We're good to go on that. All right. So quick updates before we get started, because I know we're going to get asked this in the show. But as we usually do, Yara, we have a few weeks still left in the campaign. We have some fucking surprises, man. That's all I can really say as of now to close this bad boy out. Appreciate you. We're closing out 18,000 total books sold. And we have have an idea that it's going to go up even more with some of the cool things that we have planned for you guys. Lots and lots of surprises. This thing, yes, it's the last month of the campaign, but very much there are some things that you guys are going to be very excited for. So be on the lookout for that. I also want to discuss this. I posted this. You know, you saw our profile pictures, the band backwards. We got some things that we are working on. And Thursday, which is tomorrow, by the way, our time, Central Time, something's happening. That's all I'm going to say. So you're going to want to pay attention to all forms of our social media at 11 p.m. Central tomorrow. So that's all I'm going to say. We're going to leave it at that. So I know I've been asked about this band and what we have planned and when are we returning and all sorts of things. Let's just say some of those questions will be answered going into tomorrow. So, yeah. All right. We got a bunch to discuss today. I actually want to open the show up with the news that we missed out on this past week, and I want to get both of our thoughts kind of out there in show format. All right. Where do I start? Helldivers. Okay. Who facilitated it? Whose idea it was? I think everybody's leaning towards it was Sony, right? That this whole
Sony's idea, but they knew 6 months in advance.
Okay, so this is why, and I think that's the part. That's why I love to talk about it here, because I do think maybe that part of it is getting missed out, right?
So it's getting swept under the rug.
It's getting largely swept under the rug because I think that Sony's the easier target. Right.
And Sony's the easier target, and they made the game, which is a good game.
Right.
So there is a kind of forgiveness inverted commas factor, but they are to blame as well. There is a lot of blame on their behalf, particularly because it was actually the CEO of Arrowhead that made the decision not to link at the beginning because they wanted as many people to flow through the game as possible.
That context is so very important and so very vital. So it's not like there was a blind side by any means. And one could make the argument if Well, let me ask you this. You think the blow is a lot softer if they did it at launch, right? If the requirement, I'm not to say that there wouldn't be people that have an issue with it. What I'm saying is if that was kind of transparent, that was the direction it was going either way, right? Or if they had the linking happening, let's say at launch, I personally believe that the blow is a lot softer and it's going to be far more well received than what you got now.
Absolutely. I mean, we already know that Ghost of Tsushima, which is coming to the PC,
yes,
you're going to have a PlayStation Network account attached to that.
Mm-hmm.
So if people knew beforehand, I don't think there would be anything near what. I don't think there'd be anything, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But they were unsure of how many people were going to play the game, and they took a punt, shall we say, on the fact that if they'd done that at the very beginning, they were concerned that they wouldn't be able to get people onto the servers.
Interesting.
And so they made the decision not to do that, with a little bit of wishy-washy language along the lines of may need a PlayStation Network account to play, but there was nothing in the Sony end user license agreement that said that you did, and then they retroactively changed it.
Yeah, that's always going to be a problem.
Which is what's caused most of that's why I think a lot of it is deflected away from Arrowhead. It's the fact that Sony were very disingenuous about it and then tried to just play that it was always going to be that way.
Right. So yeah, I mean, and I've seen some things floating around, and again, I think that's because I think the natural instinct or reaction is to try to give definitely the smaller AA or whatever company the benefit of the doubt. And I'm not saying that's unjustified, because I saw that people were saying, even though that doesn't seem to have much to do with it, that, well, looking at the launch and some of those issues that they had, this requirement was more or less either it fell through the cracks, either it was removed because of the server related issues that they had before. However, that does not change more or less the fact that this was something that they knew for a while, right? Going into at least Arrowhead, that is concerned, that they knew for a while, and then again it kind of popped up as of recent. Now, with all that being said, in like a 3-day process, if we want to call it that, it was a reversal. Sony comes out. You guys have seen our videos on this, and they come out and they say, okay, yeah, we've heard you. Yeah, fuck that. We're not going to do that, because I think the backlash, and maybe it was because, and this was the argument that I made, it had less to do with as the dogs are screaming.
Yeah,
right now.
I can hear that.
Yeah, they have some, it's actually the guy more on the grass, and Cammy has to make sure that she knows, the grass person that's mowing the grass knows who's boss of the fucking house, or maybe she's trying to get him to do his job. Nonetheless, 3-day period, Sony reverses. I know CEO or the creative director, who I think is the CEO, came out and said, well, I'm really surprised at this, and it speaks to kind of this community and what you guys are able to do in terms of your capability. Now, I do think that there was a financial incentive that was a part of that. I mean, you saw people canceling PlayStation Network accounts.
I think that was the major factor.
Yes. So you hit them where it hurt, right?
Yeah.
You hit them where it hurt.
They were going for refunds on the game, and they were canceling PlayStation Network accounts on top of that. So it was a two-pronged attack. It's as if Arrowhead had trained their player base to coordinate an attack against an enemy on a grand scale. But yeah, it was a two-pronged attack. It wasn't just it just wasn't just attempted refunds on Steam. It was, okay, if you're going to deny refunds based on time played, which is shitty because of what they did, right, because players didn't know what was going to happen.
And I can think before you continue, the big part of that also was basically the game. What was going to happen with those that lived in those areas that had already sunk maybe hours into it, that PlayStation the PSN Plus or whatever is not even available to them.
Yeah,
right.
In a huge, like 177 countries.
Quite a bit of countries out there, right?
And they wouldn't be able to play. That would be it. They'll be done. Yeah.
Bingo. So just I'll let you continue on, but I think that context was important.
Yeah. So if because Steam were refusing refunds based on time played, they went, okay, then we'll start canceling PlayStation networks instead, because that's something that they do have control over.
Right.
And so I think Sony saw what was going on, because obviously canceling a PlayStation network has a further connotation, because if Sony's going to require you to link it to play a game, then that means they're not going to get that game because they've cancelled the PSN. So that's going to be lost sales. So I said on my afternoon tea show on Sunday, which was a few hours before the decision was made, because I think it dropped at midnight Pacific time.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like 8 a.m. in the morning for me the next day on the Monday. I said I would be absolutely amazed if Sony didn't capitulate and give in. And within a day they did. They'd given in and reversed that decision. Rightly so.
Right. Yeah, of course they did. And yeah, the financial incentive was there. I think that more or less is, look, it shows if there is to be a tactic, that's the one that is most effective, right? Because the bigger you are, especially when you are, I mean, Sony is a fucking massive multinational billion-dollar corporate entity. The bigger you are, when you are that massive, I don't think we've seen it across industry, you can get away with I don't want to say spitting in the face of your customers, but you can get away with leaving a poor taste in their mouth, and they're just going to take it for the most part. You're the first in, you're the best dressed, and you've been around for so long, and you're a bit of a mainstay. So with a company like that, I think that really the only way, shame, for example, isn't going to be the most effective tool. You can say that they suck all day long, but as long as kind of the contribution is there financially, they're going to be like, whatever. But once you see en masse people saying, you know what, and not just saying, I guess actively doing, and I think a lot of the subscription model, and I say this from experience with the Rippaverse, right? Like kind of what we're doing with memberships. A lot of these companies, right, a lot of their bottom line is what's central to that is their subscription model, right? Mm-hmm. That means that they have a baseline amount of money that they can count on and bring in. Sure, it's going to fluctuate, it's going to go up and down, but you at least have that idea of what that floor is going to be because of the subscription model. So once you start attacking that and people start saying, you know what, we're pulling out there, I think that's what did it for them. And it just became so obvious that it was going to be long-term, far more detrimental for them, especially considering Helldivers is one of the biggest games right now. It was going to be detrimental for them to keep this up. And so if anything, if there's something that I think everybody can learn here when dealing with companies like that, it's about the financial aspect. That's how you hurt them more than anything. Or if you're trying to have them adjust their approach in any sort of way, they have to feel it there more than anything. And I think that's what showed it. So look, gamers at the end of the day called a dub there. Again, I don't think that, and I think that's what we both were talking about earlier, that Arrowhead is completely absolved of just everything. I think they have, there was, and maybe they've learned from that, right? They've kind of learned as many developers or anybody that's making deals with the devil, kind of understand that shit happens, right? And maybe make an adjustment going forward when they learn from it. But at the end of the day, the gamers did win. And that to me is what I guess matters for a lot of us. And we'll see kind of what happens in the future. If Sony does plan to still do anything goofy, because the verdict is still out. If you read the actual message that they sent out, they're like, hey, we're still analyzing kind of what we're going to do in the future. So we'll see what happens, but at least gamers caught a victory today.
Yeah, I think that's pertaining more to future releases.
Right.
I think that's how they're going to pitch that. But there is a lot of blame at Arrowhead that
Mhm.
that is being forgiven. Their community managers were absolutely disgraceful in their conduct of how they dealt with customers. They were very antagonistic, very sarcastic, and they just did not understand the scale that this was going to leap to the point that the CEO had to start tweeting and trying to diffuse the situation. And the most antagonistic CM has been fired from Arrowhead.
Correct.
They were fired last night from Arrowhead, and that was the right decision. Again, on afternoon tea with Az, because I sometimes like to put on my analytical business head of when I used to work in sales, marketing, customer service, because that's what I used to do.
Right.
If one of my subordinates, let's just call them, had behaved in the way that the CM team had behaved, I would have fired them all.
Right.
And that would have been, that isn't council culture. That's a business decision. Because why would I have people who are antagonistic towards my customers?
Right.
A good CM is a CM you don't see. That's a good CM. Because a good
Right.
CM is just seeing what's going on and making sure that things run smoothly. An egotistical CM is a CM that can't keep the fucking mouth shut and has
Right.
to get involved in everything and make sure that people know that they're involved in everything. And there are CMs that are good, that get a communication chain going with customers. But when shit hits the fan, that communication chain still remains the same and they remain the same. But we saw, we have, when I say we, I've spoken about a couple of these CMs over the course of the last few weeks before this even kicked off in how they're acting to their customer base. And this was on Helldivers.
Right.
And this was these CMs. Like the head CMs just got a bio full of fucking flags and shit.
You know it. Very
and
predictable.
if you're representing a company, a corporation, you get that shit out of there.
Yeah.
You want to believe in that shit, that's your business. That's your prerogative. But when you're representing a company, no. That kind of shit it should absolutely be detached, but they can't detach it.
It's impossible.
It is impossible because it's the whole fucking life.
Right.
And that's all there is. And then the one that was fired has been jabbing. They have been jabbing at the customer base for a few weeks now. And so when the shit hit the fan, they were absolutely ill prepared for this. They behaved in the complete and utter unprofessional manner, which we've become accustomed from a lot of these CMs. And one of them was this Spitz person here, was absolutely rightly fired.
Right.
But I would have gone further and got rid of the other one as well.
So yeah, just to give people context, I can't remember if it was Spitz, if it was this community manager that was that really was aggressive in coming to the, I don't even want to say the aid of PSN, but it was more of, like you said, to your point, that was very antagonistic about the move. It was Spitz. Okay.
Yeah, they're the one who said, I thought you were refunding and leaving.
Right.
They were
Okay.
The one
So
that
was
said,
Spitz. Okay.
it takes you 30 seconds to do this, but I guess that's too much. All that kind of stuff. And then
that's the automatic fire. Like, to me,
yes.
that's the one that they're not. Look, I get it. Even if there is a bit of backlash, right? You make a decision, maybe it doesn't land well with the community. I think it's very important that the community manager and the person that, or and not just community manager, especially the people that are in any kind of way more customer facing, they got to keep their cool, and they have to be like they have to be extremely professional about their approach, right? Being antagonistic to me shows that you believe that you don't have much skin in the game at all, because like that would be an automatic no. That's something that has to get communicated to that community manager. Like, bro, you are the one that these people like are gonna, let's say, familiarize themselves. As they're familiarizing themselves with our company, they're going to you. They're looking at what you say. You're also feeding information back and forth to both the company itself as well as to the customer. So you're very kind of forward and front facing. So you have to be careful with some of those things that you say. to me, this is a person that, as many community managers are with these companies, they don't even look at themselves as if they are representative of the company. They look at themselves as if they just got a gig for said company, and now it's their. They kind of say whatever the fuck they want, right? It's no true direction there, and I think that's kind of the dangers that you face when you don't necessarily vet who it is that you're bringing on, because, like I said, fair or not, they represent the company, and people are going to affiliate them with your company. And to be fair, if you trust them as a community manager, you're putting them in that position to be that person, girl, gal, they, them, whatever the fuck. So they have to have their shit together. Bottom line. So out of all of this, it does seem that this community manager Spitz went under, or they have been fired, at least sort of relieved of their duties in some kind of way, if you will. So that's saying something that shouldn't be necessarily swept under the rug.
But you have to understand that probably the facilitating factor was maybe not necessarily what they said. It was the fact that because what they were saying, people were bypassing the community management team because they knew they were talking to fucking retards. And so they were bypassing the community manager team and hitting the CEO's Twitter account instead. And that's what brought him into the fray to start to discuss things. So I think that became pretty clear. And if your community management team is failing to such capacity that the CEO feels as if he's now taking over the role as community manager, you're done.
Yeah,
you're done because you're paid for a job and you're not doing it.
Yeah, that's automatic release. It's not unfair by any means. That's purely on merit, right? That you are not suited, and you have shown and exercised that you are not suited to be filling that role. So you got to go. Especially if you're going to be hurting sort of the bottom line, and that is these customers, man. They're the ones that are going to be spending money on the game. They're the ones that are going to be keeping you around. That's the last entity group of people, let's say that you should be trying to piss off. But I don't think these guys care. And look,
a community manager doesn't care. It's not their money. This is the problem. It's not their fucking money. This is the same problem we have with comics. We've got a bunch of fucking retarded writers and artists and shit like that. They don't give a shit about DC. They don't give a shit about Marvel. It's not their fucking money. They think they can run their mouth and behave how they want. If they get fired because of the fucking echo chamber, they'll probably get picked up somewhere else. Oh, I was fired for my political beliefs. You're fired because you take no responsibility. You take no responsibility for the IP that's under your charge. And this is the same with gaming right here. And until you get people on board that actually do their fucking paid jobs and act in a professional manner, because there is a distinct amount of unprofessionalism in pretty much every industry right now. And it seems to start in marketing teams, in advertising teams, in community management teams. And when you're hitting that at the entry level, it just goes all the way through particularly from the top down. When your top downs are attacking the customers, then you're sending a message to the rest of your team. Oh, it's fine to do this. Let's do this.
Right. Now, I'm not exactly sure, and I'm trying to find what you're talking about here, because this guy says out of all the CMs, I would keep over at least 5 other CM says, look at the apology. I haven't seen the actual apology. Is there something that I'm missing there? I'll try to find it. You're saying that it's on Spitz.
Right. Okay. First of all, I would get rid of the whole team, as I said. They'd all be gone. So I don't care if it's Spitz or anyone else. I'd get rid of the whole fucking team. All of them would be out of there. Secondly, their apology is because, in my opinion anyway, their backtracking that they were doing over the course of the couple of days afterwards was because they were trying desperately to cling on to their job. Because I think they were given the call, they were given the word from the top to buck up because they're getting a bunch of fucking shit now. And I think they tried to course correct then, but it's too fucking late. It was too late.
Yeah, so I can't find this person's Twitter.
Well, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, dude. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the apology that you're referring to is when they were suddenly starting to say, "Oh, I misread the situation. didn't understand the impact that it would actually have on other PlayStation Network accounts and countries and other PlayStation Network accounts. We're having meetings here now, and we're trying to figure options out. In the meantime, downvote the game and make your feelings heard. They kind of did that thing, but they were the ones who were antagonizing the customers in the first place.
Shout out to Nooner, just rated us as always. Shout out Gary and team. Appreciate y'all coming all over. We're actually covering some of this community management stuff that happened with Helldivers. So you came in at the right time. So I would love to see what this apology that you're referencing, because this would be me. I'm saying this obviously not speaking out of ignorance. I own a business myself, a business that also has a fucking community manager. Is the community all right? If that community manager, Spitz or whoever the fuck, apology or not, right, was acting right. This is not under the direction of like the company, so their boss isn't making the argument. Right, like their boss isn't saying, "Hey, go tell the customers that X, Y, and Z." Like this just takes 30 seconds. So I'm thinking, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this is how I see it. I'm thinking that this community manager, as many of them do, is operating under their own premises.
Correct.
This is their own action. This is not anything that was given down. It's one thing for their boss to tell them to say shit. It's one thing for them to take the initiative as the community manager and say some shit that is diametrically opposed to growing this company or to the customer base and what it is that they are feeling. If Spitz or any of the, it doesn't matter, like, because that's not necessarily, I'm not trying to rag on the previous commenter, right?
No.
But what I'm saying is, it's like, if that is the case and they are operating, that still does not like operating on purposes. They're just doing what they felt was just, even if it was unjust. They're doing it by themselves, not under action of some sort of superior. Then to me, that still makes them unfit, to be in that said position, regardless. Like that's not. Okay, apologizing after the fact, after there was some fucking backlash.
Well, an apology includes the words "I'm sorry."
That's also true.
That's what an apology, and this isn't an apology. This is a set of excuses, a set of reasons, and they're not even valid, because if reading through that. I knew I was taking a risk when I said about refunding and charging and changing reviews. I stand by it. It was my job to represent the community. That's what I did. Fucking hell. Sorry, Jesus of Nazareth. I do appreciate you fucking getting on the cross for us there. No, a community manager can have empathy with the customers. That's what a community manager can do. We understand, how upset you are. We understand that this is cause for grievance. We can't help what you do from here. How you wish to proceed is absolutely your own decision, and rightfully so. But I can tell you that we are having internal discussions, and if and when we get some news to report, we'll get that to you guys. No, they when they said change reviews and refunding, they initially said that in a go fuck yourself kind of a way.
Yeah, exactly.
When they got
1,000%, like let's not, like, apology or not, let's not separate that. Like, that is, the context is king here. That matters. This person was taking a piss on the customers when that shit first happened. And again, if they're doing that under their own, they're operating as if a superior did not tell them that. They just went out of their way to do that. Apology or not, that does not absolve them of taking the piss at the customers.
No,
there's like zero de-escalation there. There's just straight up taking the piss. That's it.
If let's just say the Rippaverse, for example, right? Let's just say you're doing a campaign and you've got a bit of an issue when it comes to fulfilling. Something goes wrong. The printer breaks down.
It's happened. As an example, CGC copies, right? Yeah. Sometimes those they don't get in when we need them to get in because we're having to operate on a third party, right? So we have to communicate that, right? We have to communicate that, like, hey, this is not going to come as part of your other orders. There may be some frustration there or what have you, but it happens, and that has to be communicated.
Yeah, so if one of your customer service team then to turn around and go, oh well, just get a refund and fuck off then, which is essentially what Spitz was doing, then I would be completely on the page of, I would sack them, I would get rid of them, because they are not company focused, they're not customer focused, they are emotionally focused and projecting onto their own emotional state onto the company's audience. Community management teams should be some of the calmest, most empathetic people
absolutely
in there. Male, female doesn't matter. They, them don't matter. Gay, straight don't fucking matter. What you do need to have is you need to have a good head on your shoulders, a calm head on your shoulders. You need to be able to communicate and have good communication skills. And you need to not get emotional, because what would be potentially perceived as a personal attack is not a personal attack. It's a customer who's frustrated with whatever is going on that is failing at that company at that given point in time. So the moment that you start getting emotional, the moment that you start engaging in the shitty behavior that Spitz engaged in, I said from the moment they said that, I would fire them. I would fire the fucking lot of them. And I stand by that, and I think it was the correct decision to get rid.
Yeah, it's just you got to do what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. I mean, again, apology or not, and it's easy to look. Yes, people are allowed to make mistakes, but this is something different. I wish I could think of an analogy like off the top of my head, right? But this person's job is to specifically act as that sort of liaison between customer, community, and the company, right? So when you do something, again, using the term diametrically opposed, that goes against that, right?
Mm-hmm.
You fundamentally show that you're bad at the job, right? Or you can't do it effectively or efficiently, whatever terms you want to use. I don't care. Either way, yeah, you got to be got rid of. That's not just a minor mistake. That is the one job that you're responsible for. And when you face the adversity that inevitably you are going to face, you fucking did the exact opposite of what we needed you to do. So you got to go.
Yeah.
Period.
No, it's no brainer. No brainer.
It doesn't matter if after the fact you're like, oh, I'm sorry, or after the fact, which I think the previous comment
they're not sorry.
Yeah. They're sorry that they blew up in the face, right?
They're sorry they got fired.
Yeah. that's a better point. Yeah.
But even going out the door here,
they
come across as a pompous asshole coming out the door there as if they are some sort of fucking martyr. You're not a martyr. You're a dickhead. And you got what you deserved. Fuck off.
Look, man, customer service, and I know there are unfortunately folks that are in any sort of industry that believes that they are detached from how important customer service is. You're in the customer service industry whether you want to be or not. Doesn't really matter. If you put something up for fucking sale and there's some community that is supporting that, there's buyers involved, there's an exchange that's voluntary, you're in the customer service business, bro. And customer is king. And what we have is maybe it's cultural. I don't know. Maybe it is a rabbit hole that we need to start going down, because it does seem like customer service has it just in general going to shit with a lot of
it's dead. It's dead.
Yeah, it's not even
it's been dead for a decade or more.
Yeah, it's like people, and I say by people I'm using like that just generically, more as just referring to these customers. And then we've talked about this before, and how like even just some individual creators believe that like a customer has to live up to their standards, right?
Yes.
You have to be good enough to support them.
Yeah. You have to be good enough to be our customer.
Yeah, which is asinine. That is a crazy way of thinking.
Mm-hmm.
When you have someone, especially that's trying to buy your a product, it's on you. Like, this is my belief. been like this since been in business, but especially with like the Riververse, the biggest business I've ever owned. We're not owed anybody's fucking money, especially in this goddamn economy, bro, where dollar is going to shit because you have your governments actively printing fucking money like it's going out of style. So they're actively devaluing your money.
Yeah.
So
raising inflation. And
it's not going as far as what it had been. So especially in this economy, bro, you're fighting for that person's dollar, right? And you're not owed their money. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. Doesn't matter how respectable that you believe that you are as a creator or someone that is providing a good or a service. At the end of the day, nobody owes you jack shit. Period. So that's something that I try to instill in this company, and having everybody understand that we always know, even if we're in good favor, right? We are constantly working to better ourselves, not just creatively, but on the delivery aspect of things as well, hearing that customer feedback so we can not only just grow the company, but keep the guys around that are our bottom line right now. And for whatever reason, that approach is lost on a lot of, especially bigger companies, is just lost. They think, and they'll tell you, a lot of these guys are arrogant, right? I mean, we've seen these creatives, especially, not just community managers. We're talking about people that are part of the creative process for some of these companies, actors, actresses, producers, directors, all that shit that are like, go fuck yourself, which is just an amazing thing, amazing sort of approach to have when trying to convince people to reach in their pockets and spend their hard-earned money on your fucking product. Customer service has gone to absolute shit. And I do think that when you do find a carer, like, making this sort of personal to us, we do have a community manager in Sheep. I think he does a fantastic fucking job at what he does, but also our customer relations manager, who was once I think that tells you that community management has gone to shit, right? Look at what the fuck happened with the company that Kara used to fucking work for, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before why she became a free agent in the first place is because you have these fucking people that are fucking crazy, right? Like, it's like you have someone that is doing good at doing their job, and you'd rather just say, go fuck them because, I don't know, some fucking crazy, deranged person who may have some issues with how they approach gender, right? Conflicting ones, certainly. And they went after her because of who she followed. That's fucking crazy. That's telling me that your company doesn't give a shit about community management, for sure, that you're willing to let go of a fucking good one. I mean, it was my game, so thank you. Shout out Liberty Run Games and Elton John, by the way. We haven't shouted you out this show as well. Tim Sheridan, shout out. AIDS,
stigmatizing
AIDS. Shout out to all of y'all.
Yeah. Tim Sheridan.
Yeah, big shout out to
Come on, Tim. We'll sell some of your man-sucking dick at a bus stop. Books.
Big shout out to them. But
truck stop. Sorry, not bus stop. Come on, man. Don't play me like that, Tim.
Yeah.
Don't play me like that. Come on,
it's a truck stop, yeah. But big shout out to them because they made someone that is an incredible asset to our company, a free agent. But it goes to show how community management has absolutely gone to shit. Because
wasn't the tweet from Cara like 6 years ago as well, something ridiculous?
Yeah. It was also, it was not only that, it was old tweets, it was who they followed, right? And that was enough for Limited Run Games to say, yeah, we got to get rid of you. That is fucking nutty as all.
What they're doing now, they're burning DVDs. That's what they're doing. Limited Run Games.
We've seen that.
Burning DVDs.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. But yeah, speaking of people that may not be the best at their jobs, I do want to kind of shift the conversation over to what's going on with Kotaku, of all places. There's a couple of different things that I want to discuss, but first and foremost, and we will discuss Mercante, I promise you guys we will. But first, I want to discuss that there does look like more staff and Kotaku has been let go of. Levi, who wrote this article right here, Stellar Blades Eve is hottest when she's not revealing everything. That article that was wrote by Levi. And this is what Levi had to say on social media not too long ago. Well, Geo Media, who owns Kotaku, laid them off along with 3 other video folks.
See ya.
It was a turbulent ride.
Do you know, I think Levi looks more attractive when they turn around and walk away. Never to return.
It was a turbulent ride with a shitty ending, but despite the ups and downs, I'm proud of what I've done. Now I'm gonna go cry.
That makes one of you.
So Levi is no longer having a job. We do know that Kotaku, we've covered this, at least on my channel, that Kotaku has laid off lots of people over the last several months. They have let go a lot of their writers. There has been also a company shift, though I don't know how that's landing with them. That I know that whether it came from Geo Media themselves, they wanted these people to focus a lot on like actually playing the games and providing guides, as an example. And there was a senior editor or editor-in-chief, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that disagreed with that vehemently, that approach of instead of, I don't know, writing articles like the one we just saw, I guess maybe they prefer
instead of doing their job.
instead of actually playing the video games, they much rather maybe focus more on the easier stuff.
Well, instead of doing their job and discussing gaming and actually playing the games, reviewing them, writing articles about them, they'd rather just shit all over the very people who should actually be reading their stuff, to the point that nobody gives a fuck about that. Eric, my biggest video on YouTube has about 1.5 million views. Okay? It's the only video that I have that's over 1 million views. I have one on like 999,000. Fuck you. It's the only one that I have over 1 million views, and Kotaku's actually partially responsible for that, because I did a guide for World of Warcraft, and it gained a lot of traction, and they embedded it into an article about the revelation of the guide that I did. And that got even more eyes on it, and that got more traction because it got embedded, and then it got embedded in a lot of places.
Kotaku did they call you and try to get you a job or gig or anything?
No. It was just it was a thing at the time. Sorry, my point is, Kotaku were doing their fucking job.
Yeah.
Once upon a time. They were doing their job, and if it meant that this video that I did hit over 1 million views, then there was some definite traffic that was going through their site. We've seen from their YouTube account now, they can barely get 1,000 views on a video. There's no traffic going through there. We've had the omission from one of their editors that they do hate bait, because that's the only thing that they can do to try and drive traffic to their site.
Mm-hmm.
It's dead. It's DOA.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons why they're lashing out, and all these games your analysts are lashing out, is because the perceived power that they once held through access is gone. And that's what makes them mad.
That's it. No,
they cannot control the situation anymore. They don't have the power to control it. Their words, what their actions, what they do article-wise, has no sway with anyone anymore. They're impotent.
That's I mean, you hit it perfect. I think that's why, look, in any industry, doesn't matter. I mean, we're talking about games journalism, but journalism, aka journalism in general, is suffering all the same fate. This is industry wide. It's not just journalism again, but what you have right now, if you want to know why these people are lashing out the way that they are, is for an extended period of time, and they got too comfortable. But for an extended period of time, the not just the flow of information, but the general flow of production of anything went through them. So in this case, we're talking about more or less Access Media, right? It went through them. The chain of command, they were at least a part of it. It was a status quo that they very much had a seat at the table in regards to. Well, that has started to change with the growth of really folks like yourself and people that are really just in their bedrooms, to be honest, that are doing the jobs that they used to do. There, people have learned that they can get just as good of the information. They can get something that's as entertaining. They can get something that's as engaging. They feel like it's just a overall better approach because they seem to know these people a lot better. So you're watching the old guard have to deal and not just deal with it. They're watching it in real time. It's almost slow motion for them. Their industry fundamentally changed before their eyes.
No,
and they can't do jack shit about it.
No, they fundamentally changed their industry.
Well, that's them. That's also a part of it. They have actively pushed people the fuck away from themselves, okay, and their status quo. The Rippaverse is a primary example. I'm not at all unaware of the fact that comics in general, with people again pushing customers at the door, has a lot to do with why people even gave us a fucking shot in the first place. They were looking for an alternative. So that's very much a part of it. But the reason why they lash out is because, guys, when we get on the other side of whatever this looks like, the more decentralized form of how people consume any fucking product, it's just going to look a lot different. They might not have a seat at that table. Hell, there might not be a table. There's going to be multiple ones, and they might not find a way because they have been propped up by this industry for so long. They don't know what it looks like. All their education, formal education, doesn't fucking matter. Nobody cares. The credentials that they had, nobody gives a fuck about. So you're watching them lash out because it's almost a defense mechanism, right? Because they're starting to realize that, oh shit, we have to try to, though they're failing, protect this industry. And the status quo, more or less, that existed. Because should that crumble, should that end tomorrow, where do they go? Who's hiring them? Like if I know someone,
no one, because they're all going out of business. It looks like it looks like IGN are inflating their numbers, and we know that Kotaku's in the fucking shitter. That's gone. That's completely gone. You know, we got some fucking absolute, and I say this legitimately, no hyperbole and no satire. We literally have a mentally ill prostitute running around that is just chaotically trying to burn people to the ground. This isn't normal. This isn't in any way, shape, or form anywhere close to fucking sane. You're a video game fucking website. That's what you should be talking about. You should be producing articles that are beneficial to the customer. Because your customer is the gamer.
Well, that's the thing, though. As before with the old status quo, they didn't have to answer to them. All the flow, like it went through the status quo. We were talking about this earlier in the show. I talked about these big kind of mammoths, right? And how they could basically, if they wanted to, in some cases, spit in the face of a general customer, right? But when you have these like middle men and women and they thems that are part of this sort of process, they don't have much skin in the game. They got skin in the game and with the status quo, but they don't have really like true skin in the game and don't necessarily have to answer to the customer. And that's what this whole new thing, or whatever you want to call it, whatever is on the other side, as all this shit starts to crumble, whatever is on the other side, however that looks, bro, they're going to have to answer to the customer. And I don't even think these people know how to fucking do that because it's arrogance.
Access only works when you have a functional platform.
Yes.
That's the only way that access works. Access only works because you have an audience that the companies desire to get to.
Mm-hmm.
When you forsake your customer because you get so romanced by the access and you think that's what it's like what Dan Slott said, fat fucking virgin troglodyte Dan Slott. It's what when he said, fuck you to the customer, you're not the customer, it's the comic book shop.
Yep, facts.
That just showed the fundamental disingenuous nature of him because he knows it's not. He's trying to come up with an excuse to be shitty towards customers and then talk about the way customers the way that he does. It's the same with these platforms. They got seduced and romanced by the access. They thought that the companies, the Ubisofts, the EAs, whatever it may be, they thought that they actually thought they were important as people. You're not. You're a commodity for them. You were a pivot point to go to an audience that they wanted to actually sell their product to.
That's it.
Then those companies got so entangled in their own fucking relationships that the customer was just like, okay, fuck off then. Now they have no power. Now they have no sway. Nobody goes to them for reviews. They go to other places for reviews, predominantly YouTube's. That's where they go. And they go to their favorite YouTubers, whether you like them or I like them or we dislike them or we either. Doesn't matter. They go to them and they get their information from them. Or they will go to a source that is just as unbiased as they can be.
Yeah.
Because they are not projecting their own belief system into whatever they're talking about. We went and that company could have access. They could be invited to places here and there, but they don't have to necessarily compromise their morals. Niche Games, so it was one of them. That's does that job really well. But when your the parent company, my brain's just gone fucking dead. V. The company beginning with V. That owns them all. Vice. When your vices start to crumble, and a company that was worth hundreds of millions is now worth fucking shit. And now all the other subsidiaries that are under Vice are getting closed down. They're getting shut down. Your BuzzFeeds and all that. Fucking bye. All gone. Then access doesn't work because there's no fucking access to be had.
Yeah. And it doesn't matter. But that's the thing about the decentralization of it all and why I believe personally that they're lashing out because, again, it's more or less a defense mechanism. It's like maybe the back of their mind understands it, but they're under like this sort of delusion, right? That they can save this shit either way. But again, it's a defense mechanism after all. It's like and by I'm saying them, they have to lash out at the customer because they are understanding that access is going to start going away and that they don't fucking matter as much. People aren't going to them for like they're not the legitimate proper fucking channel anymore. Or if they are, nobody cares. Nobody gives a fuck.
No, they're not because they're not well people.
That is also true.
And again, I'm being absolutely rock solid serious here. I'm not trying to do this for yucks. They're not well. You're hiring a bunch of fucking weirdos that want to call themselves names that they're not, that want to identify as things that they're not, that want to promote the most vile, disgusting thing. You're not well in the fucking head. You are not a functioning human being.
Right.
And that's where it fucking starts and finishes. You got a mentally ill prostitute fucking running around going crazy right now. As I just mentioned, that's fucking not normal. That's not normal behavior. That's insane. So it often helps when you actually put normal people into positions of whatever you want to do. But if you want to put this bunch of abnormal fucking freak show, because the freak show's here, the circus, fucking hell, the circus.
We live and ready, baby.
They can't fucking compete, mate.
Yeah.
It's too good out here right now. It's too fucking good. So when the freak show is running everything, whether it be education, whether it be government, whether it be fucking a games website, You don't get normal fucking think. You don't get normal talk. You don't get normal conversation. You don't get normal interaction. And that's why your vices and all that, they're all crumbling down because they got into a think tank of fucking mental illness. And they're promoting all of this fucking weird shit that vast majority of normal people are just like, you know, hi, I'm very glad that you got 58,000 fucking flags in your name. I just want a fucking packet of condoms or whatever it is they fucking want to buy.
Right.
But they're not getting that. They're not getting a normal service for normal people.
Right.
They're not getting the answers that they want. They're getting preached and lectured and berated, and by what? A bunch of absolute fucking window lickers.
Yeah, there's no true demand for their services. Let's be honest. Like and I think again that's another part of it that has them lashing out because they're having to come to the realization that there's no true demand for them. I mean, we've talked about this on the show with like the comic book industry and how you've seen comic pros try to do their own thing, and even some semi big ones, right? They're finding out that, well, you're not really to draw like that, bro. Like it's not. People they tolerate you maybe when you're doing something that's associated with a massive character like a Batman, right? Or a Spider-Man, Superman, or whoever the fuck. But ultimately, if your name is detached from that, you're not much of a draw. I think the same thing is happening with games journalism. I think the same thing is even happening with some of the even on the developmental side, and that definitely as independents rise. And as people are finding that, look, I can go get I can satisfy the same itch, right? By not going through you fuckers. You maybe held the industry hostage for a very long time, but as the means became more decentralized, as the means became more affordable, people are finding out that they could get the same enjoyment, same satisfaction, same entertainment, same information, same whatever the fuck without having to go through that massive entity that existed long before. They're not going to like that. And I think that's why it might get worse and why you will start to find these guys who are still holding on to this old guard and this old status quo. You're going to find these guys lashing out, being more and more aggressive because in the back of their mind, they know the sham is about fucking up. So they have nothing left to do but to protect whatever the fuck that status quo that formerly existed or is crumbling right now. They have to protect that because once that shit's over, they're over.
Can you bring up the tweet from the other game developer? Can you bring up that?
Yeah. Which one? The guy that was
the
like
family, the family, family and mothers.
Right
yeah.
Right here.
When you're in a situation where you can't have reasonable discourse because you have been dictating the narrative for so long that when the narrative is no longer functional because you've destroyed your business, your communication chains, wherever it is. This is what you get.
Right.
This fucking tweet right here. This is what you get. This is a tweet based off people who were annoyed because they had to link their PSN accounts to Steam. PC players, they don't want to do that. Fine. That's fair enough. Annoyed because they lived in countries that couldn't even open up a fucking PSN account.
Right.
Annoyed at the way that the community managers were treating them and talking to them. And annoyed that Sony thought that they could just bullshit them with talk of safety and all this fucking crap, all this corpse speak bollocks, which people don't give a flying fuck about because we all know it's about control. Everyone knows it's about control. So when you get that, this person's fucking response is, this is absolutely the play. And the play that they're talking about is Alyssa DeConti, like I said, the mentally ill prostitute.
And we're going to talk more about her later.
Who DM'd somebody who did a video on the community managers and the way that the community managers were speaking, DM'd their wife to ask her what they thought about their husband, and then they, not objectively, inserting their own narrative on top of that. So you get this guy saying, yeah, this is absolutely the play. Yeah, we should We should be doing this with all these weird creeps. Weird creeps, of course, being people that actually clap back or do their job, which is report on shit. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up.
That's crazy to fucking just that this mother he had to have absolute smoke coming out of his ears to tweet some shit like this.
That's psychotic.
That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. And the same thing with the Grum situation, where people with the whole bounty, and this is the thing that I don't fucking like about this, is like these people will say things like this. They'll throw out some crazy threats, and it's like they expect, there are people that are completely out of touch that expect you to just roll with the punches. It's just a joke. What's the fucking big deal? And I'm like, it's a joke until it's not.
Well, it's not a joke when you are joining in. Well, it's not a joke when you are seeing people physically go after families and then you're endorsing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's not flippant behavior when you're literally dealing with fucking crazy weirdos. We'll get on to the other crazy weirdo later.
Yeah.
But it's rampant. And so when you are poking that bear to the absolute fucking polarized weirdos that we have with Mark Kern recently, of course, we had people trying to put a bounty on his fucking head.
Yeah.
We've seen many instances of swatting. We've seen people killed because of swatting.
Well, that's the thing, and that's what I need people to understand, man. If you are one of those who thinks that, hey, it's just the internet, ha, ha, ha. But especially when you have a known name, right? You're out there, you're more public facing. You don't have the luxury of not taking this shit serious, right? You don't. Because the last guy you want to be is the guy that was unprepared, that thought the shit was a joke, and then someone else took something serious. And then whether it be with someone's fucking life that's at stake, or whether we're dealing with a bunch of money that's at stake, that, you know, there will be, let's say this, irreversible fucking damage that could be done to somebody, their property, or anything of that nature. You can't afford not to take that shit serious. You can't. So it's easy to be kind of the guy that may be in the fucking shadows that thinks, well, everything is a joke. It's just laughs. It's just fucking giggles, or something like that. When you are like Mark, or when you are someone that's being fucking threatened, you can't afford not to take the fucking shit serious, because the internet is not going to save your bitch ass in the event that some shit does go down. When someone's life is at stake, when someone does get injured, it was just jokes, bro. That's not going to be good enough for the people that think that you maybe are you shouldn't be reacting like Mark is reacting, or where he took it a little more serious. Those people aren't going to save you if someone does take that bounty serious and does try to do something to them. You can't afford not to. So the shit ain't funny at the end of the day. And especially when you got someone that's like saying like that's the absolute play. How the fuck am I supposed to take that? Should I not take it serious? When you telling me like this is your motive, bro, this is the way that you're going to approach it. How else am I supposed to take that? I got to take it serious. Why wouldn't I? I'd say this. I'd be ignorant. I'd be a plumb damn fool if I did. You remember that Batman? What I can't remember which because they animated it as well. I can't remember which animation it was where Batman was talking to the Justice League. And, you know, Batman always has a contingency plan for the contingency plan, right? Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how he, basically the team had discovered that he had like basically contingency plan in the event that any of them started acting out of order and became a threat. And
Morrison's JLA.
Yeah, right. And he had it planned. And, you know, I think it was Flash that was like, we never do something like that. Like as far as taking that shit serious like that, and like, you know, having those contingency plans. And Batman said, well, you're damn fools. And that's the way that I see this, right? It's like, if you aren't taking it serious, when someone says some crazy shit like that, you're damn fools. Because the last guy you want to be is the guy that was unprepared when some nutcase that these guys seem to be trying to, I don't know, like, it's like they want these folks to act out, right?
It's not like they absolutely do.
Cool.
It is an absolute passive aggressive call to action. to other people. And when you have a mentally ill prostitute that's working for a gaming organization that is contacting family members because they think they're going to cause division in the family,
which is fucking wild, bro. This is fucking crazy.
Fucked in the head, because they're fucked in the head.
That is such a crazy thing that there's people
you've had people knock on your door. You've had people knock on your door.
Yeah.
Guess what, mate? I have.
Yeah.
In the middle of the fucking countryside in Yorkshire.
That's fucking crazy.
When does that not become crazy at one point?
Right. I've had it happen. I've had it happen at my fucking business too. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you got to take that shit serious. And I despise that there are people that think they can just say foul shit like this. And matter of fact, let's just get to it, because I want people to understand the context. We are talking about, some people call her Decante or Mercante. But this is what happened, right?
Call it how you see it, mate.
I'm reading this tweet from Alyssa. Anyway, and this is going at this Smash JT guy. Anyway, I found your wife's Facebook. I found your wife's Facebook.
Fucking hell. Do you know what that's the words of a woman who, when you walk in the front door, wants to smell your fucking dick to make sure that you haven't been anywhere.
And asked what she thinks about the husband of her children harassing women online and laughing when they share that someone they're supporting has been threatening to kill them for weeks. So what happened out of this is that Alyssa tried to gaslight in the process, went to this man, found this man's fucking wife on a different social media platform, and thought to contact them to pull a gay op.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what happened. Like, the whole point of this is to create turmoil in
try
this
and wreck
man's
a family. That's what it is. To try and
let's be 100 about it. That's specifically what she tried to do. She tried to be a fucking home wrecker.
Yes.
This is what I'm talking about. Why people like, this is not a joke. Because let's say, worst case scenario, her husband or this guy's wife, which he explained this later, where he's like, look, she's unhinged. But let's say that the wife took the shit serious. Let's say they're married, they have children, and the wife took it fucking serious, or what have you. And this man's family, which is what she wanted, let's be completely honest, just got fucking total fuck up. See, like, this is what I had been saying before about this fucking issue. Like, oftentimes, it's also happened with the whole Ed Pisker situation, right? Which I haven't said much about it. When I'm like, see, people think that they can say whatever the fuck, and then fuck happens, right? Whatever
Joey
they want,
Quinn.
right? They can say just whatever foul shit, do whatever foul shit, try to ruin people's lives, and then after that, after there's a consequence, they think that they can fall back on, well, my bad, or that wasn't the intention. I wasn't trying to do that type of shit. Right? So, yes, there are people that have dealt with the same fucked up shit, but they had more or less the mental fortitude, or they had their ducks in a row. They had those defenses up to where they could deal with this shit. But there's others whose lives had to get ruined over it. The reason I'm bringing this up is that the intent is still the fucking intent.
Absolutely.
So while Alyssa may have been unsuccessful, while someone putting out a bounty may have been unsuccessful, while someone advocating if someone shows at their person's house or place of business or whatever, getting innocent parties involved, and maybe they are unsuccessful, it doesn't change what the fucking intent was. You can't fall on, well, it's just jokes, or I'm just trying to hold this person accountable. The intent is the intent, and I wish these pieces of fucking absolute trash would just be fucking honest. And to be fair, Alyssa is kind of being honest right here, where she explicitly states that her intention was to go find the fucking wife of this man, for a conflict that had nothing to do with her.
It's also a threat.
Great turmoil. It is a threat.
It's a threat. I can find your family.
Yeah, that's an even better way to put it. Yes.
I can find your family. I know you've got a wife. I know you've got kids. It is an implicit threat. This person should be in fucking custody right now.
It's fucked up.
And the other guy should be. The guy that we just saw, his response was to go
like,
even further.
We should be doing that.
Yeah. Protect your tweets, bitch. By the way, that guy's in fucking Scotland where it's illegal to do that now. So he could actually be picked up by the fucking Scottish police for what he said.
It's fucked up, man. Like you're trying to, let's be honest. The intention that Alyssa had, she wanted to ruin this fucking man's life.
Of course she did. They all do. We like I said, we saw it with the Ed Piskor situation, but we have seen
that's the ultimate consequence. Like, let's be. I want to be clear context. That's the ultimate consequence.
Whisper Network, dude. We've seen the Whisper Network in action for fucking donkey's years within the gaming industry.
Yeah,
we've seen people be targeted and attempted to be taken down. Some successfully, some not. We've seen the Zoe Quinn situation. That guy self-deleted as well.
Yep. That's the ultimate and I think
they want you gone. It's not a fucking. They want you fucking gone.
Not hyperbole, bro.
And it isn't hyperbole because you have a fucking mentally ill prostitute right there.
And that's what she is.
I know your family. I found your wife. I found your fucking kids. Now, when you have somebody that's so mentally unstable, what do they do with that information?
That's the part that people don't understand. Like, even if you wanted, which you shouldn't, Alyssa does not deserve the benefit of the doubt. The other guy doesn't deserve the benefit of the doubt. And anybody advocating that folks go like fuck over people, right? They don't deserve the benefit of the doubt. But even if, for the sake of conversation, I gave it to you, what you don't. It's not that they don't understand it. It's almost as if they're trying to do that. It's like, hey, I can do it. What would someone with that's a little more aggressive than me? What if they kind of carry some shit out with this information that I am now providing the people? That's what folks don't seem to understand. That do write this dumb shit off as if, oh, this person is mentally ill, which they are. They do have some fucking problems. They are definitely that, but they write it off as it's not serious. Basically, it's just jokes. Well, what happens if with this information someone else goes and does some fucked up shit? You don't account for that. You just look at it. Hey, you shouldn't react that way. It's just jokes. Mark shouldn't take this bounty thing that people have seriously because it's just jokes. Well, what happens if the other person doesn't see it that way? And now with this information, they actually go carry some shit out. Is the internet going to save fucking Mark Kern, bro? If someone no, they're not. If someone takes them up on his bounty, they're not going to save them. Hey, it's just jokes. Tweets aren't going to save him. Hey, he shouldn't react. He's just overreacting. It's not going to save him.
That happened. They'd be fucking celebrating it.
They would be. They'd be clapping up a fucking storm.
Look what happened when Total Biscuit died of cancer. Terrible loss. Look what happened when he died. The moment he fucking died, people within the gaming industry, fucking filth within the gaming industry.
They would say he had it coming.
Oh, they were cheering it. Oh, thank fucking God. Thank God Total Biscuits died. Oh, thank God the gaming industry is better because that guy that criticized my fucking video game died of cancer and they celebrate it. Filth, human beings.
Pieces of trash, bro. That's fucked up, man. Like I said, man, if that's something that you advocate, man, you're going after people's fucking family members, other innocent parties, like I said, employees, all that.
Stan Lee, dude. Stan Lee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look what happened when he passed away.
Yeah. They start getting they get emboldened and aggressive. And like I said, like it's we see what the ultimate consequences, whether it be like self-deletion, whether it be like, let's say in this case, let's say he had his home wrecked or something, you'd have these folks being like they do one or two things. They celebrate or they try to absolve themselves of having any fucking thing to do with it. Right? But like I said, the intention is the intention. And just because you effectively, and this is the point that I want. If you take nothing else, you're watching this right now. Shout out to almost 2,400 of you guys that are here hanging out with us. But if you take anything else from this, at least for me, the intention is still there, and I want you guys to understand that. Obviously, the bigger your name is, you can't afford not to take this type of shit serious when people are intending to like wreck your fucking life, wreck your companies, wreck your families, wreck your or whatever have you, right? They want you fucking dead at the end of the day. You can't afford not to take the shit serious. They have to, right? They have to absolutely take it serious. But just because someone is successful in sort of defending themselves against this bullshit, whether it be slander, whether it be home wrecking in this case, whether it be a bounty for that fucking matter, it does not absolve these people of what they fucking tried to do. Because we've seen what the ultimate consequence is when folks do take them up on that information, when folks do have their homes wrecked, when folks do get falsely accused of some fucking crap. Understand what the fucking intention is. And this is why I think cancel pigs is obviously a proper term to call these guys and what they effectively want to do. But just because they aren't successful in being a cancel pig, like in the cancellation, if they're not successful, does not make them not a cancel pig. That just means that their effort had been failed or it failed. That's it. That's all that it means. But the intention is still the fucking intention. And Alyssa Mercante, in this context right here, wanted to ruin this fucking man's life. And that shit ain't funny as far as I'm fucking concerned.
No, we're dealing with somebody that's unhinged. It's absolutely a clear call to arms. Clear as day.
We just watched the guy already take him up on it. Hey, we should be doing it.
Oh, we should be doing it. Actually, we should be stringing those members of the
family
them
up. Like, how can you possibly spin that as, oh, it's just accountable? You talking about string? I see that as being physical off rip. It's not funny, bro. And let me see. Do I still have that pulled up? I don't. Yeah, I do. I still have it pulled up just so people understand what Az is talking about. Track their significant others and mothers. This motherfucker's talking about people's T-Jones, and as we say in the South, he's talking about others and mothers. And string them up. That's what he said.
Yep. Yeah, apparently he then contacted when Mark Kern retweeted this or quote tweeted it or whatever, or just took a screenshot and posted it, as you can see there. This guy then DM'd Mark saying that he'd set his people onto him for a quote poorly worded tweet. Poorly worded.
I do not know how else I'm supposed to fucking take this. I don't know how else I'm supposed. I'll read it. I'm gonna read it out loud. Maybe there's audio listeners out there. I'm gonna read the whole tweet out loud right now. This is absolutely the play. We should be doing this with all these weird creeps. Track down their significant others and mothers and string them up.
So he totally understands that mentally ill prostitute tracked down the family, the wife, the kids, told the guy exactly that she knew what family he had.
I don't know how else. The poorly worded. I don't really care.
Should be fucking prison right now. Should be fucking behind bars.
It's not fucking funny, guys. Stop this shit. Like, do not fucking be that guy that gets so irate at something that's happening. Sure, it may be frustrating. I understand that aspect of it. But it is not to like go out there harass people. It's not to go fuck with them IRL. It's not to go be a home wrecker. Like, don't be that fucking guy, bro. Don't, or gal, or they, them, or whatever the fuck. Don't be that person.
It's This people calling them they them's half the fucking problem, mate. It's half the fucking problem. Try living in reality. When you fucking don't live in reality and you don't live in a fucking world that operates in it as fucking real, then you think you can get away with anything.
And then again, the people that try to write the shit off are, again, I believe you're part of the problem for sure. But the people that are like, hey, it's just jokes. It's not, that's not, it's not serious. He or she is overreacting. You're a fucking asshole.
Just take a, like, let's take a bit of beef. A bit of beef that have been involved with. Let's bring up the Ackman for a second, right? Okay. We'd beef with each other, because of the whole Starfield rant. And then 6 months later, he sort of did a U-turn. He sort of dawned on him what was really, fucking happening, right? And there was fucking handbags at 10 paces between us, and we did our videos, and all that kind of stuff. He didn't, and I didn't. Well, he did. He said he did actually tell people to shoot me with a tranquilizer. But other than that, neither of us, when we actually got into it with each other, neither of us were telling them to fucking go and delete that guy. We both fucking understood that we're having fucking handbags at 10 paces with each other. And it became a war of words. This isn't it. Nobody, he didn't come and track down my fucking family or vice versa.
Or your video editor or some shit. Some shit like that.
There was none of that fucking shit going on. We're just having a spat. It happens.
Shit happens. It does. And it's like, that's, I believe, how the shit should go down. Look, disagree, criticize, whatever the fuck. But I just feel like if you're a decent fucking human being, if you are a decent human being, you should understand that, okay, maybe not go after people's fucking, like, try to be a homewrecker, right? Put bounties on people. I think that's like a line that you cross, right? just saying, right? Falsely doing something that has ramifications that are very, very serious, right? And we've seen those consequences, man, when they are successful in being the little dirty fucking cancel pigs that they are. We have seen what it looks like when they're successful, and it's fucking ugly. Don't be that fucking guy. And someone brought up in the chat, which is a great point. They aren't decent people. That's the problem.
Then no.
And
they don't understand.
And that's why Alyssa thinks that's appropriate. That's why both the person that tweeted it originally, as well as the streamers that co-signed it, think that it's okay to say, I got a bounty on you to remove you for having positions on fucking games, right? Like, let's put that in fucking context, which blows my fucking mind. These people are acting like this over like video games. Like how fucking deranged do you have to be to where someone having various opinions on the industry has you wanting to wreck their fucking home or put a bounty on their fucking head?
Because they want you to be as unhappy as they are.
They want you miserable as they are.
Yeah.
That makes it make sense even more.
Dude, you don't fall into a profession like fucking prostitution because you have a fucking stable ability to hold a relationship.
And look, like I always say this because I think people think that, like, as they don't understand the difference. They think, oh, as just taking a piss. No, the chick has quite literally said she's dabbed in prostitution. That's not just him just saying that. But yeah, they have problems, and that does put it in a more context. And I will also argue that it can be difficult to combat that, right? Because that's a person that doesn't have jack shit to lose as well. So they're even more likely to do some dumb shit, which is why it shouldn't be wrote off as a fucking joke. because they are fucking miserable and they don't like seeing you fucking happy. I mean, hell, you made it personal to you. I make it personal to me. We've seen how some people act over fucking the Rippaverse. How crazy that's made some fucking people. Right? Some of the wild things.
We've seen how people respond for helping them out. For help, giving them a chance, giving them an opportunity, helping them out, pushing of this, pushing that. And we've seen the way that's been fucking paid back. Cheers.
Yeah. So
no good deed goes unpunished.
It's made people fucking crazy. Like I have dealt with, look, I said this before. Like, look, man, I used to do some ignorant ass shit back when I was young, bro. Like dumb shit, like really, really dumb shit that, you know, I had been to jail. I done foolish things when I was young. And as far as pushback and just craziness that I've had to deal with, nothing compares to me starting a fucking comic book company, which is insane. Starting a comic book company made some folks just go fucking nuts. And you've mentioned about people showing up at your house doing all crazy shit. Like I've had all of that wild shit happen. My business, right? Place of business. People involving folks that ain't got nothing to do with them, innocent employees, over a comic book. And I think that maybe that could be a segment in it of itself. Like, what the fuck has happened to the West? That is this like literal first world problems, right? Does man have it so good that they have to react like that, become home wreckers, and put bounties on people's head, basically want to threaten people with violence and acts of aggression in any sort of way, fucking with people over comic books and video games.
Yeah, they want you to go away. And there's various degrees of that. And when you start butting heads with somebody that won't back down, when you've been in a position of perceived power for so long that you've been able to bully people into silence, you're not a racist, are you? You're not a phobia, are you? You're not an ist, are you? And then a normal person be, oh no, I'm not like that. No, I didn't mean that, because you're preying actually on the sensibilities of a good person when you're not, because you're filth. But then what happens when you butt heads with somebody that goes, fuck off, as you're racist? Right, okay, cool. Don't mean fucking nothing.
Well, let's be 100 about it. There have been those that have accused you of very bad, even worse things than that, as that I took absolute fucking exception to, because they tried to wipe their fucking hands clean like they didn't. You know exactly what I'm fucking talking about. Like they didn't fucking do that. Yeah. Accusing you of fucking things that people go to prison over, bro. That shit's not fucking funny, bro.
Nope. That again, it's either they want you gone, they want to destroy you, and when you're dealing with people that have no moral fiber, no moral core, that have no conscience, they'll try everything they can to shut you up. And then when they can't shut you up, when you keep making a video, when you keep talking out, when you don't give a shit, escalation happens.
I think that's been the theme of the show. It's like, again, when you do see people effective and successful in whatever they're doing, right? And you see the world crumbling around you, you have a way of being, I think, again, as a defense mechanism, being more aggressive. Like I said, like, it's fucked up, but it's a reality. So look, shout out to anybody that, obviously has had to deal with that dumb shit. Like, I don't like hearing that, dudes having his fucking wife contacted over some stupid shit, over video games. That's just stupid. Or Mark getting a fucking bounty put, like, that's just, I don't like hearing shit like that. That's fucking dumb. but it is first world problems for sure. But you know, you can't afford not to take that serious. I mean,
people are losing their minds over fucking Eve's tits.
It's crazy, bro.
They've gone fucking mental.
And someone brought up these people have morals. I think that's the problem. They are amoral, if anything else, or at least they don't have a set of ethics, or maybe they're completely different from ours. And maybe that's why these things that do feel fundamental to us, like things that should be off limits, things that should not be something that's entertained, to them they feel like, well, it's all gravy. Because that motherfucker tweeted something, man, like that. And I imagine this guy was just angry as fuck, but tweeted like he wanted to string motherfuckers' mamas up, bro.
Mm-hmm.
That's fucking wild, bro. You know how mad you got to be to fucking like say some shit, foul shit like that? You got to have some problems for sure. And he doubled down because I know Mark brought up that, you know, I believe it was Tug that said, you know, they brought it up and he doubled down in which that game developer was like, yeah, it's about accountability. What the fuck does contacting people's wives and trying to wreck their homes have to do with accountability? Over video games have to do with accountability.
Do you know what accountability is? Accountability is talking to your company's customer base like shit and getting fired for it.
That's accountability.
That's accountability.
Purely based on merit alone. That's it.
Done.
That shit ain't cool. Speaking of, if you want to give us some context here, because I know while we're going on about this whole ordeal about shit that really, you know, again, just ain't really funny.
Yeah, so because people are big mad with Mark Kern because he's actually you know, this is a guy that's been in the industry for a long time, got a very impressive resume under his belt with what he's done. You know, one of the first devs on World of Warcraft, you know, Diablo, stuff like that. He's been in the gaming industry all this time, and for years, for absolute years, he's been very pro-customer and speaking out over, you know, poor corporate behavior within the gaming industry and poor behavior in general within the gaming industry. And with the recent Stellar Blade stuff and then the Helldiver stuff, and he's really been speaking out, and it's put a huge target on his back because of it. Now Mark's got pretty thick skin. I've known of Mark for probably 10 years. Been following each other for probably about 10 years on social media, and you know, he's never been afraid to engage, and he's always had very civil discourse. He's actually a very civil guy. You know, he will engage with people who have a contrary opinion and want to discuss it with them. You know, it's a bit kind of like RMB. He doesn't care what political side you fall on. Yeah, and he'll talk with you about anything. Yeah. Same with Mark, but now he's dealing with people which aren't quite sane. So the thing that he's linked there is some clearly sane person with a furry avatar, I guess, decided to put on their YouTube channel a video of them filling out a spurious FBI claim against Mark, just making up spurious claim. So if you just click on that, I think it goes to a point where if you click on that, it just automatically goes to the point where he starts to fill in the thing. And when you start to see what he's writing, you can see that this guy is absolutely chicken oriental. It's about five or so minutes in that I think that he starts filling it. Oh yeah, just go back a little bit. But if you just see what he starts filling in, and he's
wow.
Yeah.
If you can't see it, he starts off by saying this dumbass, no dick having pussy ass bitch. Yeah, that's how he started the damn thing off, and he goes on and puts all sorts of names that he's calling.
Later, towards the end of the video, he brings me and Asmongold into it.
Oh, word?
Yeah, it's about dancing or some fucking weird shit. I mean, I can't work out, the mind of a mentalist, but yeah, this is, and the way that they're like cackling as they're doing it, they think that this is the FBI is gonna put
Associated gang name. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, man?
And I don't know if they're aware of this, but it is a felony to fill out a spurious a complaint or whatever you want to call it to the FBI that could hold a prison sentence of up to 5 years.
That's fucking wild, bro.
Yeah.
Like this person is batshit. But again, I think that's the part that has to get addressed, man. When speaking about these fucking lunatics, it's like
just jokes.
Yes, it's always somebody. So what happens if the FBI does take it serious and he gets his shit fucking kicked down?
Well, this is just the thing, right? The guy can say, "Oh, look, hey, I'm just joking." Lisa McCunty can just say, "Oh, I was just, whatever. I was just this. I was just that." That is the result that you've got.
Bingo.
That is the result that you've got by people trying to dogpile onto Mark for the Stellar Blade stuff. Trying to dogpile onto him for literally just showing. It's like libs of TikTok, just showing what you've done.
Yeah.
Now, Mark will add opinion to that, but literally just showing what you've done, showing your behavior to the community or whatever, or going out against censorship. There's no reason to censor Eve. The only reason that she was censored is because people didn't want gamers to see a little bit of flesh. It's not even any nudity. Quite happy to see a guy get fucking railed by a bear. That's stunning and brave. But heaven forbid, male gamers, straight male gamers, might actually, have a bit of enjoyment by seeing a little bit of skin on this created woman Eve. It's crazy. Well, you're all porn addicts. No, if they wanted porn, they'd go to porn site. Oh, it's immature. It's an 18 rated game, so it's immature for you to want to cover it up.
Right.
It's always so contradictory in nature.
Right. It's and like this person brings up a good point, and this is like it's crazy how what I always call it is the way that I word this is that they throw their hands, right, essentially a punch, and then they try to hide it behind their fucking backs, like as if they didn't do shit, right? And
why are you attacking me now?
Yeah, exactly. Like why on earth would you respond in such a way? Like, what the fuck do you mean? You just tried to do X, Y, and Z, right? And that's more or less what happens here. And it's crazy. They'll accuse us of doing some wild shit like that. And it's like, I don't go around sending people like trying to fuck people's families over. I don't advocate that people go fuck people's families up. I'm not advocating people go to their place of employment, be rebel rousers. I don't advocate involving innocent parties. I don't advocate none of that shit. Nobody, to my knowledge, on our side has done that shit as well. And if they have, maybe they should cut that shit out. But
no, we know there's going to be mudslinging, right?
Yeah.
Again, just say with Ackman and me, there's mudslinging. But he didn't advocate anything. I didn't advocate anything. Right. You wouldn't do something like that. He knew that his audience would fucking shit on me. I knew that my audience would shit on him. There's things that we can't control. Even if we go, don't do that. If people want to do it, they'll fucking do it. That's just the point.
Yeah.
I can't control what somebody does.
But that's what I'm saying.
Control what somebody does. Only they can control what they do.
Right. And that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a difference. There's a clear. I won't allow them to blur the lines as if like, okay, yeah, a general criticism or a general like mudslinging or whatever is akin to contacting someone's wife and trying to ruin their fucking like there's a clear distinction there, bro. Like that's a different thing, right? That's a different fucking thing. Than, hey, guy, I don't like you. Your nose is big and you suck. All right, whatever. Fucking who cares? What's the big shit, right? Like that's nothing. But hey, I don't like you so much that I'm gonna show up at your fucking house, or I'm gonna put a bounty on your fucking head, or I'm going to try to wreck your home. Like, those are different things, right? And maybe if you are a immoral person, you can't tell the fucking difference and you think that those are the same things. But those are any rational, decent human being understands that those are not the fucking same fucking thing. They're different. They're fucking different. Nobody, to my knowledge, definitely on our corner of the internet, fucking advocates some fucked up, foul shit like that. I know I advocate against that. I would not recommend at all that you go do some dumb shit like that.
No.
Don't be that fucking guy. Don't do that shit. It's not, and it's not funny when you do, like, things that have those sorts of consequences. And I think that's how you have to look at this. Like, okay, what's the absolute fucking worst that can happen in this given scenario? He caught, like in this recent case that we just looked at, FBI shows up. Y'all know these like, that's a death sentence as far as I'm fucking concerned. We've seen it happen. What happens if it is an attempted SWAT? I don't know. I'm just throwing the shit out there. Someone kicks in my fucking door. My first instinct is to go over here, grab some things that can do some things, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know who the fuck it is, FBI, whoever the fuck. And what happens if I'm trying to defend myself or my fucking family and they gun my bitch ass down? Like, that's a consequence that can fucking happen, bro. It's not funny. Or what happens in the case that we were just talking about with the guy and his fucking wife? What happens if the wife reacts in the same way or a different way?
What if the wife reacts by saying, "Sweetheart, I can't handle this shit.
Yeah,
I work in a fucking supermarket for a living, or whatever it is they do. This isn't my fucking world. I can't handle this shit." That's what they want. Yeah,
right. He loses his family, loses his children. That shit's not funny. Because you wanted to be a dickhead over video games. What happens if some deranged person takes him up on the offer of a $30K bounty or some fucking shit, shows up at his house or something, carries it out just with the expectation that they're going to get some money out of it?
It's a lynch mob mentality.
For sure.
That's what it is. Because they want a consequence.
They do.
They want something to happen.
Too chicken shit to actually. Some aren't, but a lot of them are too chicken shit to explicitly state it. But that's exactly what the intention is.
Yeah, they want plausible deniability.
Bingo. That's perfectly put. That's what they want. They want to be able to say, "Well, I didn't mean it like that." Oh, so and so off themselves or self delete because of so whatever gay shit you're doing. Oh, I wasn't the intention. That wasn't the intention. For something like that to happen, or so-and-so's door got kicked in, or so-and-so's family got fucked over, or so-and-so's businesses got ruined, right? Well, that wasn't the intention. I wasn't trying to do that.
I wasn't trying to do it. I didn't mean for that to happen.
Yeah, it's just a little joke here. Just, that shit is not fucking... People need to understand there are folks that are crazy, bro. It's like... And I know these are folks that have never dealt with consequences or never been in any sort of conflict. Because there's folks, remember, it was a hoopla on the internet for a while there because I simply stated, yeah, everywhere I fucking go, I fucking carry. I'm from fucking Texas. Like, you be a plum, and I'm public. You a fucking plumb damn fool if you think I'm not. And they'll be like, well, he's overreacting. Why on earth would he be walking around with a gut? You don't know shit from shit. Say someone does react and say, I got family, bro. I got fucking, I'm a married man and all. What happens when there is a consequence and one of these dickheads go do some shit? Is the internet gonna save me? Internet, oh, it's just jokes, bro. You overreact. Is that guy gonna absolve anything? Is he gonna resolve any sort of conflict or consequence that happens out of that? No, I'm gonna be on my fucking own. So I'll play it safe here. It's just not being that guy. I take real exception to that because, again, we've seen definitely with me being in like the liberty sort of space where, I've seen, especially dealing with fucking government, right? I remember covering a case, bro, of a red flag law as an example, not to get too political, bro, but this quite literally happened where you had I think it was the person's like, It was a family. It was the family member. I can't remember. If it was like his sister or some fucking bitter motherfucker contacted the police about this guy having it was in Maryland, right? They had recently implemented this new red flag law. Contact the police, basically saying, "Hey, he's fucking crazy. He shouldn't have." Guy was saying there was nothing wrong with him, right? Police show up at his door, right? Show up at his house. They get in. He has a gun. What do you think happened? They killed that fucking man.
You go by.
They killed that fucking man. That needless conflict, right? That did not need to happen for any reason, just because someone decided to get so and so involved. He's dead, and there's no return from that, bro. There's no reversal of that. The internet doesn't get to say, well, it was just jokes, or they were just trying to hold them accountable. None of that shit matters. The person's dead.
No, what you get is an Alex DeCampi situation where they try and rally round to protect.
Yeah. Acting like they're the victims.
Yeah. Oh, because they're not right.
Right.
You're not dealing with right people. We're trying to go through it as sound-minded people, and we have to understand we're not dealing with people of a sound mind.
That's the key, and that's why it's especially not funny. Because again, to your point, you're not dealing with people that are operating under the same set of morals and ethics as me, right? So whereas to you and I, you know, or even if I took you on your word that it was just a joke, someone else don't take it as a joke, and next thing you know, something happens. That again, it's irreparable. There's no coming back from it. Sometimes that may be death. Sometimes that may be some like absolute financial fucking ruin. Maybe that's ruining of their family. And that's I know secret, it's not even so secret, but again, they want the plausible deniability of where they're not actually doing that, but that's exactly what that's their intention, right? They want something fucked up to happen. And so when we say like, hey, they want you fucking dead, I don't think we're talking out of phrase.
No, and we live in a horrendous society at the moment where everything's so disposable that even when somebody does potentially self-delete because of a situation like this,
oh wow, that sucks.
A week later, gone.
Move on to the next day.
Yeah. Even with something so minor, with like the Starfield business, even something so minor about that, a guy making an opinion about a video game and going fucking worldwide viral. Even with all of that, a week and a half later, I was back to fucking normal. My life was back to normal in about a week and a half. It's like a week and a half of craziness by then, but then it was just like people moved on to other shit.
Easy.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. So yeah, that's why I'm like, look, I don't knock anybody for taking that shit serious. When something like that happens, when you get a thread or something like that, that is levied at you, you're not in the wrong, and don't let the internet sock gas you into thinking that you're crazy for taking that shit serious. Because like I said, last dude you want to be is the guy that was totally fucking unprepared because someone did decide to act on that shit. You don't want to be that fucking guy.
Yeah, the gaslighting's insane.
That's the part.
I mean, I may have said track down family members and fucking kill them, but bruh.
What's the big deal?
I might have tracked down your wife. I might have tried and told you that I know how to get in contact with your wife, and I know you got kids, but bruh, it's just fucking shit, bruh. Just shit, bruh.
No big deal. No fucking big deal. And look, I guess it was a best case scenario because the wife, according to him, seems to be understanding. They're treating Mercante as they should, as just a deranged, just batshit fucking person, right?
Yeah, they're mentally fucking unstable.
Yeah,
desperate desire for attention, desperate desire for relevance. That's why they're going as hard as they can because they know the fucking Kotaku gig's over soon.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's on the way out for sure. That's ticking. But again, doesn't change the intention. She explicitly says it like, "Hey, I want you to know that we contacted your wife, tracked your wife," is what she said, and children.
Jeez, yeah.
That's fucked up.
I tracked
That's what she said.
down your wife.
What she said. Well, I'm saying, and ask what she thinks about the husband of her children, bringing in the kids as well. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? That's like, imagine
But
being
it's the
crazy.
father of the children. Why did you put the husband of the children?
Yeah.
It's just fucking
mental. Absolute fucking mental. And that's accurate. Okay, before we move on to super chats, I gotta ask.
Yeah.
Because I know that I know we had talked about it before on the Ribbon of Silverback. But we haven't since now we're getting to where, what is it, first couple of episodes of Doctor Who.
Oh God.
Or I think I got to get Az's thoughts on whatever the fuck is going on with Doctor Who.
Well, we've decided to rename it to Nurse What. From here on in, that is what this show is now going to be referred to as. It's because Russell T said he wanted this to be season 1, a refresh. That great. I absolutely agree with you, Russell. So it's no longer Doctor Who. It's now Nurse What. I think it suits the show much, much better now.
So I take it you're not much of a fan of
No,
what? How do you say his name?
Ncuti Gatwa.
Ncuti Gatwa.
Yeah. Okay. Come on, dude.
I know. I'm the one that's.
You need to bone up when you're Scottish,
right? Yeah, my
that proud line of Scottish Gatwas, man.
Yes, there's a lot of those around. Such a Scottish name for sure. But yeah, so I take it you're a fan of or not a fan. You're not a fan of.
Oh no, massive fan, huge fan.
Huge. So take it you're a huge fan of.
Huge fan.
Gotcha.
Huge fan of Nurse What.
Massive fan.
Nurse What's my favorite show. My favorite franchise.
So we never got to talk about it. I know right before, was it as the first two episodes were being a thing, where he had that bit that I can't remember, was it Variety, Hollywood Report? They all blend together with me, where he did that special or whatever, and he basically told fans to go fuck themselves effectively. I mean, effectively, that it wasn't. He didn't literally say that, but he. I mean,
they did the gammon thing, you know. They did the gammon insult, which I think you've got to be in a certain group of people to think that's remotely insulting. He did the gammon insulting. Russell T Davies was talking about, well, if you aren't discussing gender in 2024, what are you doing? Trying to have a good time, Russell, but fuck that, I guess. But yeah, you know, Ncuti was giving it, oh, people go mad because I'm black. You know, the regular
usual,
boring shit.
Right?
Yeah, the usual gas. Gary, I'd like to take credit for this, but Gary said this. Definitely beat me to the punch on this one. When you're making excuses for your show before it's even fucking come out, it really shows that you don't have a lot of faith in your show. Because it's poor and you know it's poor, or it's because it's been made from a certain ideological slant, which is not going to be conducive to what the audience used to be, which was everybody. because it's no longer made for everybody. This is the irony of when they and we all know who they are, when they say we're making this more inclusive, we're making this for everybody, and what they're actually saying is we're now making it for our niche corner, and everyone can go fuck themselves.
Yes, that is accurate.
If it's inclusive, it's exclusive. It's exclusionary. If it's diverse, it means non-white. We all know how this works now.
We know. That is accurate. That
gaslighting like mad.
Yeah, I had to get your thoughts on that because I know that is, they're really on the promo trail, obviously.
Yes, this kicks off midnight Friday in the US.
They're really on a promo trail for this, and they are everybody's excited.
Who's everybody?
Talking about the tens of people out there that are excited.
The fact that it's now going to be shown on Disney Plus before it's shown in the UK. I hope that doesn't have any effect on the ratings. That would be tragic.
It would.
It would, because I really want Nurse Watt to be a huge success.
Yeah, I mean, and of course, everything that goes to Disney Plus makes lots of money.
This is going to be the most successful Nurse Watt ever created. I got told that by the people that made it.
No, they'll spin it in some way. It'll be this is the most reviewed Friday release at 7 p.m. on the East Coast with a black lead on.
The most successful Nurse Watt that's had a black doctor.
It'll have those. They always love to do that. It's I always make fun of ESPN, which is also part of Disney. They do that shit all the time. Right? Do it like that. This is record breaking. This is the first time someone scored 30 points on a Tuesday
at 3 p.m.
Yeah, at 3 p.m. and
while wearing pink.
Yeah, something like it. It'll be something like that. So I'm sure that'll be the way that they spin whatever the ratings will be.
Yeah.
Should they be? They'll spin it. It'll be a victory in some way, shape, or form. So Nurse Watt.
Nurse Watt. Yeah.
For sure. All right, let's get into some of these. It's been a wonderful show. We appreciate all y'all hanging out. Over 2,000 of you still hanging out with us, man. Appreciate y'all, man. Shout out to each and every single one of y'all. Let's get to some of these super chats. We have Josh with a 20.
Josh Kelsey speaking. He's speaking words.
Yeah, not just dropping 20.
You're gonna speak.
Alan said, "Hey, ass." He's also saved up for the top surgery you wanted.
Fuck you, Josh.
Shout out Josh for that 20. That ain't cheap. It's a lot of money.
Josh hasn't said anything since Happy Birthday, and that was the first thing he said since Happy Christmas.
First thing he said.
That was the first thing he said in fucking months. So this is the first thing he said in 4 months. I still love you, Josh.
Softy Dofty with 5 says, "What's up, Black Stan Lee?" Who is the greatest basketball player and why? I'm going to say Michael Jordan. Why being he played both sides and he did it at the highest of the levels. I say both sides, I'm saying offense and fucking defense. Obviously, being defensive player of the year, multiple all defensive teams. Obviously, you know that he was a great scorer. He's a fucking champion. I don't particularly think it's close. I think the closest that you got to him in terms of his playing ability was obviously Kobe Bean Bryant. But as far as like just if we're talking about an individual player, yes, there are guys with more rings, just like there's the Bill Russells of the world, and so forth. But as a guy that just had impact on the court, obviously off the court, but just was an absolute fucking stud on both sides of the floor. Yeah, I'm going MJ, and it's not particularly close if I'm gonna be completely honest.
The answer is Scottie Pippen, because when I played NBA Jam, he was the guy that scored all my points.
I can respect that. Well, did I finish reading that? He says, "Does Vince McMahon have creative control in the Rippaverse?" No, he does not. I have not been contacted for any Vince McMahon investments. I know he has sitting on a lot of cash right now, considering he got rid of everything.
4.2 billion or something.
Yeah. So he has not contacted me about anything with the Rippaverse. So there's that.
Hey Vince, look, give me a meal, shut my face.
Man. Recef the Cripple with a 10 says, from a small counter perspective, Sony actually sprang the PSN stuff on them 6 months before the release, and told the devs to build out the functionality themselves, and the linking wasn't ready by launch. I'm not sure what exactly
it's not what it's no. They the CEO of Arrowhead said that he made the decision not to have them linked at the start because they wanted to get an influx of players. And they thought that linking it at the beginning could potentially lead to that being a barrier for people to play the game. He said it himself. Go to his Twitter account. He's tweeted all of this out over the last few days.
There you go. Softy Dofty, I read that one as well. We got Graph Web as always coming to remind us, for fuck's sakes, cancel.
I have
Disney Plus. I don't have it, so there's that.
Even though Nurse Watt's going to be on there.
Fish Shooter with a 7 months as hell. Appreciate you 7 months there. We have Mark of Reality with a 5 says, "Sup gang, here from the Neurotic Nooner." Yes, we got that raid earlier. Shout out. He says 500 ministry wrong. Not quite how that works. Mark, not quite how that works. You can't just give a dollar and then say you gave $5. I mean, I respect the try.
That is fucking beautiful. I love that.
I respect the attempt. I guess. I guess I can respect that. Appreciate that. We got Mark.
Good hustle. It's good hustle. That is good hustle. Come on.
Mark of Reality with a 5 says, "An apology includes a certain contrite attitude and some sort of an act of contrition. We're sorry. Now piss off. Doesn't count."
They didn't even say they're sorry though, Mark.
Not technically, no.
They just went, I stood up for you after shitting on you, and I only did it to try and save my job. But oh, woe is me.
Ministry of Wrong Thing with a 2 said, "Inform Google my last super identifies as 500. He said, okay. All right. If that's how it works, look, if it somehow means that Google's going to treat it as a $500 super chat, I guess at that point, whatever works.
Yeah.
Whatever works. Big Bone with 5 months says, "These fools get a tiny bit of authority and want to act like swinging dicks. We people with no achievements are the ones who want to lord it over everyone else. F these losers." Yeah. Shout out Big Bone, big supporter of the Reverse. Shout out. We got Scotty with a 5 says, "I had damaged ISOM 1. I emailed the team, was sent a return label and had a new copy in my hands all within 4 days. Riververse customer service done right." Yeah, that is a wing of our company that we take very, very seriously. You have to. That's the benefit, as well as I look at it as an upside, because we get to manage our customer experience instead of putting that on someone else, because we distribute our own comics, right? But making that like unique to the customer, we can make the experience unique to the customer, but also just general solid customer service is something that we value. for sure. And we take very, very seriously. So we try to get those issues when they do come, resolve them very quickly. We know shit happens. We have our preventative methods, but we can't get everything. But what we can resolve, we resolve, and Carol and the team they do a great job, phenomenal job of getting that feedback and also building policies around some things that we see from you guys and feedback that we get from our customers. So customer service is a big part of what we do. And take well, everybody does it. Some people are just bad at it, but it's something that we take very serious. So hemorrhoid hurts with a 2 says, are these people not included or inducted code of conduct? I don't know what the conversation is when a community manager is brought on for them. I can't make that. I have to ask these devs for sure. Let's get Gabriel with a 5 says it's crazy that Hellblade 2 is coming out 2 weeks and Xbox didn't release a physical copy and going to Game Pass day 1 without any promotion anywhere. Yeah, I thought about talking about that as a segment. I just didn't bring it up, but
I had no fucking idea it was coming out in 2 weeks.
Yeah, but we did see that there are some set of layoffs. Was it from Xbox?
Microsoft. They made some layoffs at Bethesda, closed down some studios.
I know that one in Austin out here is closed down. Yeah, so games.
Great.
Booming like comics.
Thriving.
Yeah, just like comics. Never been better.
They had a catastrophic month.
Games just had a catastrophic month.
Microsoft tweets out, GoFundMe, we had a catastrophic month.
Even
though that we're really successful, the greatest, catastrophic
month. El Pancho Libre with a 5 says it should be mandatory to live stream from the start to finish of a game before giving a review rating period. You'll see them charge leave the industry. Oh, well, yeah, I'm not so convinced that a lot of them actually play it. They for sure, at least from what I pick up, don't play it the way that I think most of the devs maybe depend on it. So you kind of got to take it with a grain of salt. But I also believe that that's why the growth of like YouTubers and their perspective, people care a lot more because they see their own gameplay. They see them actually play it. So it does seem like it's coming from a more trustworthy source, if you will, as opposed to probably some dev or game journalist puts the game on the easiest mode, tries to breeze through it so they can get through the next game, and they give a review. It's not the same, not quite.
Well, I mean, remember when Frost did
Frost. That was a big thing that they don't even fucking play a lot of the game.
They don't even play the game. She just threw the whole thing under the bus.
Yeah.
She just pulled the curtain back, and we don't even play these games. We don't even write the reviews.
What? Man, that chick, what is she doing these days?
She left the gaming industry. That's all I care about. That's all I give a shit about.
Fair enough. Blabs the Towtard with a 5 says, why does Elton John keep hitting sick people with the stick? Another joke. Eric could have a cape if he put relaxer on his shoulder hair. No, it's not that fucking thick. Like it wouldn't. Like it's not even that curly, to be honest. Kind of just regular. So even if I put a relaxer on it, it wouldn't get much bigger.
Dude, you look like you fucking OD'd on steroids.
Says Pickles Yay. Says Blabs the Tower Star with a 5. So yeah. Shout out Blabs the Tower Tart. Defendo 99 with a 5 says Kotaku is letting out one of the longest dragged out death rattles in recorded history. Yeah, it does seem like everybody's kind of looks at it as an inevitable thing that they eventually will get the tweet saying, hey, or from Geo Media, like, look, we can't do this shit anymore. It's over. Celtic with a 5 says, once my favorite Borderlands lost my support due to Randy Pitchford's treatment of customers. Their latest game disappoints and the movie seems subpar. So Celtic. Yeah, look, anytime anybody forgets about the customers or thinks that they're kind of just a luxury. Well, or no, you're a luxury by being a customer of them. They don't see you the opposite way. It's like, again, you have to live up to their standards, but that's always going to lose people. Average welder with a 10 says, with my side job, I couldn't imagine shitting on my customer and expect to still get paid and later work from said customer. Remarkable. Some people believe that. Buddy Rabbit with a 5 says, I'll pass on the condoms for now. But thanks for the concern. Ass. I can save a condom for fun for a sick lid, though. Release the hat. Says with the 5 Buddy Rabbit. And he's talking about this hat right here. Everybody wants it. I'm working. El Pancho says all fun in games until mentally ill are involved.
Yeah, exactly.
What a Canadian too. Exactly.
And when you've been pandering to the mentally ill for fucking years now, you've emboldened them.
True. Bruce with a 10 said, if you could throw a bundle of the hat, Eric, and the new backward CD in store, I appreciate it. Just throw it in the bag. Just say throw it in the bag. Says Bruce. Okay. Shout out Bruce. We got a with Sheep, our community manager with a 10 says, you know what happens when you don't take these fools seriously? You end up like Ed Pisker, aka cartoonist K-Fabe says, and is a silent still working in the industry. Take it seriously. You have to. You have to. Defender 99 with a 10 says, I can't wait to see Alyssa McConaughey feature on the bag seg. That perhaps could be a thing soon enough.
Begging for another trick.
And I forgot to mention this earlier, but the context that I wanted to bring up while I was trying to transition, for lack of better terms, into that was that after the Kotaku 4 people got laid off, to our knowledge, Alyssa is still working with Kotaku.
To my knowledge, yes. She's not one of the 4. The other, how many have they got left?
I don't know.
There ain't many left, mate.
There ain't many for sure.
And they're giving them time to quit, weren't they? And then clearly they're not quitting at the rate of knots that they want. So another 4 got.
Andimus with a 5 says that dude needs a wellness check from a couple of friendly officers or something.
Yeah.
We have Christian Morrison with a 10 says a joke. You're a twat pillar, etc. That's a joke. Yeah, I got you. Nobody is going to act on that, but they should be removed from life. Target their family is not a joke. Someone reading it might act on it. Yep. This is why the whole like the doxing thing, I think, is something that when you're talking about physical location, is something that is taken and should be taken very seriously, because you might think, oh, hey, I'm just recording this person or their house or a place where they're at, and it's like no big deal. But what happens if someone takes that information and then decides that they want to do some fuck shit? Right. That's the part that you have to really consider. Samuel with a 5 said they play victim, instigate, lie, and when they do get violent, they wear a mask, call it a protest, or hire others to do it and wash their hands. Plausible deniability. Mr. Hat, what's up with a 10 said, but Eric, just ignore it. That's what they say all the time to me when someone does some wild shit. Some people are just unhinged. Christina, that one hit me. That Christina deal hit me for sure. I remember, I don't know if you guys, man, I know it's been a while since that thing happened, but I remember talking about this publicly, obviously being a musician, and how crazy that whole instance was. And I was talking about that, like, bro, while there are people that think what I do care, and not to say that me caring means I'm fucking invincible, because it doesn't, right? That doesn't mean that by any means. But when I look at scenarios like that, I would much rather be fucking prepared for a situation like that, because that hit hard. That hit home, because I do those meetups and stuff like that all the time, and you just never know, right? And it's like, for me, I would much rather be prepared for a scenario like that than being totally fucking left like a fucking, sit and duck in the event something crazy does happen, and I need to react in a split second, bro. You know what I mean? So that's an example of why it should be taken serious. But continuing on what Mr. Hat says weirdos celebrated the death of Kevin Samuels. I do remember that. World is crazy, but y'all aren't. Shout out, Mr. Hat. Appreciate that. I can say this. Nika, that's his name. With the I can say that. It's fine for me to say it. Nika became a member. I appreciate that. Becoming a member. Sheep City with a 38 month.
That was a hard H.
Hard H. Yeah, it was. Alyssa McConte is a woman scorned and an individual with nothing to lose. A combo for Helmuth. Yes. Sheep City.
I don't think she's scorned. I think she's a narcissist, and she's thriving off the attention. It's when you don't care what attention you get. If it's good attention or bad attention, you don't care. You just want attention, and therefore, when you do that, you act up.
Yeah. Sequential tragedies would attend Trump derangement syndrome. Has metastasized all aspects of life, and those infected now beyond all help and reason. Yeah, that shit made a lot of people crazy. Crazy. Fuck. I mean, I watched the whole entire industry just fucking. Trump made these guys fucking nuts. That's what these games and comic journals have become. Metal Slave 5 gifted. Well, shout out to you, Metal Slave, for that. And then we got the biggest. Let's go here first. Mega Solemn's great again.
Yeah,
especially the one in Gotham. For sure.
Yeah. Well, they are the criminally insane. So yeah.
Samuel with $100 top direct super chat of the day says it's all cognitive dissonance. You can fake being a woman, but pretending to be black is cultural appropriation. Safe spaces are good, but segregation is bad. Trump is a tyrant, but we want him to take our guns. Silence is violence, but assault is mostly peaceful. Well, yeah, it's by that. It's like the rules are a set of ethics or morals. They apply them whenever it's advantageous to advance a cause. That's more or less how it works. So they purposely, and because they don't have that moral or ethics or whatever you want to call it, and that foundation isn't there, they will be hypocrites to themselves from fucking 5 minutes before they made a statement. It doesn't matter, because at 5 minutes ago, it wasn't advantageous for them to have this now position that contradicts it. Okay. That's how particularly the authoritarian left historically have operated like that. But you especially see that play out in some of the things that we've discussed today, where it's like, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it type of situation where, they will advocate things and then cry foul on the other hand. So that's just how it works. Shout out to you for the $100, because that ain't cheap. It's a lot of money, man. Joker Disciple with a 2 says, hell, ripping ass, don't skip leg day, cough, beardo. That was a thing that happened yesterday where they called him a triangle, Dorito or something. Because I guess skipping leg day. Velox with a 10 says, newest X-Men 97 refers to Morpheus. They also how he's suddenly so powerful. I haven't seen any of that, so I can't even speak to that. He can just turn into Hulk and have all his powers. Dude, almost as strong as Amelia Clark. Man, that's funny. I can't even speak. I haven't seen Shaq shit from that, so I have no idea what's going on with Morph or anything. X-Men 97, to be fair.
I can't read that.
Thanks for gifting a sub. His name's Igga, but happens to have an N as his profile picture. It's fucking so stupid.
There's a hard eye. There's a hard eye there.
Yeah. Appreciate that, Igga, for the.
Are you going?
For the gifted sub or membership. Thank you. Aramis with a 5 says closing studios is what Microsoft does best.
And EA. Big one.
Head Case Laboratory with a says, hey Ripper, you thinking of buying Kotaku? I made that joke. when it first those layoffs first started. I said, how much would you think it would cost me if I wanted to like buy Kotaku?
Like a CW deal. We'll give it to you for free. Take on all of
take
that.
the debt. Take the debt. We get rid of this shit. Just take the fucking debt, man. You can have it. It's yours. And Cap Gamer with a 5 said, I love your work, Ripper. I first came across Hill vs. Babyface many years ago when he associated with the channel Mr. Dapperton and that crew. I didn't know he as knew Mr. Dapperton. We knew.
I have no idea who Mr. Dapperton. Who is Mr. Dapperton?
Maybe I don't was I know Mr. Dapperton is going by so many different aliases, so I don't know if that had a little bit to do with it.
Oh, was it different alias? What alias did he go by?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of what one that you would have thought that he was, but I know he was doing he I know him as Mr. Dapperton because of all ANCAP like content that he used to do back in the Gap, which was so ahead of its time. I feel like if he brought that, I know he brought that gimmick back, but if he did the gimmick and was really consistent with that, again, I think he'd see a lot of success in this day and age because he used to get all into it. He used to wear the mask and everything. Oh man, it was good times, good time. Kellen with a 20 says that ain't cheap, by the way. I believe that a lot of game journalists hate what they do instead of enjoying what they do.
Yeah.
Well, if it comes to playing games, I can see that.
You can't be a gamer and hate gamers. They don't go hand in hand.
Yeah, seems pretty obvious. Those are not they don't work well together.
You're a gamer. Gamers are your people. You know?
It's crew, bro.
Kellen, I hate talking games to gamers. Fuck off then.
Yeah. We have CJ with a 5 says hold a large purple Denver meetup shirt for me. He's talking about the
yeah, I want one of them.
You want one of those?
Yeah.
I say one for you.
Thank you.
Gotcha. Yeah, those look pretty clean. I didn't even know about that. I mean, that's what I love. My team, the Riververse, is very much on fucking autopilot, and I fucking love it. Like everybody does their job, and there's often cool ideas that I see that our leaders like with that facilitated. I can't take credit for it. I had nothing to do with that sick ass shirt. I just saw it pop up and I retweeted it. I was like, oh, that's cool. I ain't gonna lie. No, I'm gonna be 100 with it. I had no idea about that. I saw it when y'all saw it. I'm pretty sure I'm obviously in our like channels and stuff. I'm tagged in all that shit. So it's not like it's not because of they didn't go through the proper channels. It's just that they're on autopilot. I'm tending to other shit, job as a CEO and fucking the EIC kind of. That's where I float around. So when cool stuff like that happens, that's our other leadership is facilitating that, and they do a great job of it. So yeah, I saw that shirt and I was like, oh shit, this is pretty cool. Okay. Where am I at? Appreciate that. Javi, nobody with a 2 says Karl Marx or Thomas. So obviously I'm taking it. It's a no-brainer. Taking the latter. Karl Marx could go fuck himself. CJ, I got that. Jokingly with a 17 months. Is any represent updates? So I anticipate that sometime next month, Ripper will be in full swing.
Ooh.
We are obviously alongside the Ripperverse website that is also going through its like all the functionality that we're going to need is going through its development stuff right now. So I anticipate that Ripper will be full swing next month with obviously we have J stuff that we're launching soon enough. We have like fulfillment stuff that we're going to be doing. So just a lot of cool things that we're doing. Reverse needs proper Texas exclusive merch. See, if we did Fan Expo, I would have been down for that. And shout out Junior with a 2 says that yeah, I'm down for Reverse Texas merch for sure. I'm down to do that for sure. Obviously the first city, though not the only one. First city that we started a lot of what we did was in Texas. So yeah, I'm game for that 1000%. And I believe that completes our super chats. Appreciate y'all, man. It's been an incredible show today. As what do you have going on this week? I don't know if y'all have already announced a guest for this coming Friday night tights or
I believe it's Lauren Chen.
oh, shout out Lauren, Blaze colleague. Shout out.
Yeah.
Lauren. So.
Other than that, I got workmen smashing me bathroom to pieces.
Yeah.
So that's still going on. That'll be going on for a bit. But I managed to throw out a video today. So go check it out. I actually go into a little bit of what we've been doing today. I kind of do it in a nice, snappy way. But essentially highlighting that the fucking Western gaming industry is just imploding right now.
In sham.
Absolutely fucking imploding. And it's crazy. Other than that, at the weekend, I'll be doing something because I'll be getting my house back. The workmen won't be in Saturday, Sunday, so we'll have afternoon tea with ours Sunday, and then on Sunday Fun Day, I think we're going to dive. I think we're going to hell dive to celebrate the victory that democracy had.
There you go. As far as myself, no more streams this week that I'm be thinking of. Obviously, I'm going to be tending to the wife, making sure she gets healed up. So she did allow me, and it looks like she's good. I hope I don't go downstairs and she's like laid out somewhere. I think I'll be fine there. But I will say this: we have a lot planned for the Yaira campaign still. A lot of cool things that we have that'll be announced very, very soon. Looking at this, like, and when I say soon, I'm saying hold on to your butts. I got a lot going, such as
I don't even know you're making fucking t-shirts, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I know, right? That's what I'm saying. See, that's proof. Me not knowing that we're making t-shirts is proof that we got a lot of shit cooking, right? That's an example. But as you guys may have saw on my social media, there's a little something that may be happening tomorrow at 11 p.m. Central Standard Time. Not Central as in European shit, but Central Standard. Yeah, you might want to just be around. If you know it's late, 11 p.m. Central. It'll be really early if you're out where Az is. It's more like 5 a.m. That's 5 a.m. your time. Yeah.
Might be getting up then, to be honest with you.
But if you're in the States, stay up late, maybe. Because the East Coast it'll be midnight. Just a little something that's happening that you guys just hold on to your buckets, in the words of Jay, aka Drunk 3PO. But that's all I got going on there. Be on the lookout for some Riververse stuff. Appreciate all the support for Yaira. Next week, we will be on Az's channel, as we always are. I'm sure will be something will pop up. Maybe another truck stop comic. Perhaps. Shout out Elton John. Perhaps a big seg. I don't know. Catastrophic month. We haven't got an update for April, so not sure how that went. Maybe we'll have an update for you next week as far as Big Seg is concerned. But other than that, we have to get out of here. We'll see you next week again on his channel. Thank you guys so much for the continued support, the growth of this show. It's the highlight of my week, man. I love it. So we'll see you though next week. Hill versus Babyface channel. We got to get up out of here. Until next time, y'all be easy and peace out.